Thank you for those encouraging words, sir. So I'm going to talk on phaco and colobomata eyes. So as we know that colobomas can present in various presentations. So it can be just a simple iris coloboma or an iris with a lens coloboma. So that makes it a little more tougher where you have the flattening of the lens edges. It can be associated with retinal choroidal colobomas. That's when you have the small eyes. And I think Swamar has already told about when you have a combination of microphthalmia or nystagmus. So these are things that we must have commonly seen when we do eyes with coloboma. So I'll start off with the first simple case of an iris coloboma. So what are the precautions that we have to take when we start off the case? As you can see the inferior iris coloboma there, but it is not a full defect. And also this relatively NS2 grade cataract. So it's not a harder cataract. So the rexis, we should always make sure to slightly inside because we have the tendency to go away when the coloboma site is there. For beginners, I would suggest we can even make a limbal incision like this, because in case we have a problem, we can always convert it easily. But we should make sure that the entry is a square shaped incision. A slow hydro dissection, as you can see, the fluid wave is not going as a jet as we do it in other cases, and also some amount of hydro delineation. So the phaco technique is, I think, the surgeon's choice. I prefer the stop and chop technique. The only thing here is, if you see, I'm trying to slightly bring the nucleus to the center and then initiate the chop. Because at that point where the zonules are weak, it can actually give away during the surgery. And the third point is, before coming out, always fill in with viscoelastic. So I learned this from sir in managing TCRs, but here also that area where the zonules are weak. So if it collapses, the vitreous can prolapse through those weak zonules. And during cortex aspiration, I call it the cortical stripping, because as routinely we are not doing an aspiration, because even during aspiration, some of these zonules can break. And after doing a good phacoemulsification, we can still lose the bag. So actually engage this cortex, strip it to the center. So once you're there in the central zone, then hit the aspiration of the foot pedal, and you can see you can aspirate the cortex. Since it was just a small segment where deficiency was there, we introduced the CTR. So there are various methods of using the CTR. I prefer just holding on to the eyelet of the hook and making sure I can see the margin and then release it under the margin. And choice of IOL, any foldable lens. But again, we make sure that the haptics are actually where the weak areas are. So that again gives some amount of stretching of the bag and prevents late complications like phimosis of the bag that can happen. So these are some of the small problems that we can face, like zonal deficiencies, pure dilatation, and accompanied microphthalmos. So moving on to the next scenario, when you have a bigger defect, and also you can see the lens coloboma, you can see the flattening where they're absent of zonules. Initial case, maybe they had weak zonules. So here again, if there's any case, getting the rexis right is very, very important, because in case we land up with complications, then we have other choices of keeping an optic capture or anterior or a posterior capture. So getting the right rexis, making sure you don't run towards the edge of the coloboma, because since the zonules are weak, it is very difficult to pull back the rexis when it extends. So I use the forceps to stabilize the globe, and here we are making a clear corneal incision. And you can see this is a fairly harder nucleus, and I prefer the stop and chop technique for phacoemulsification. As you can see, the lens moving, and also the iris diaphragm opening up and closing. So these are some of the common things that you might face with any coloboma cases. I am using a little more higher energy than usual, because in this there is a small compromise that I don't want to be pushing the nucleus too much, and that can cause further damage. And you can see I'm doing more of the trench only in the center. So as far as I get a good depth in the center, I can initiate the crack from the center, and I don't want to reach up to the periphery. Here again, the same principles of filling it up before coming out. Something different here, you can also use the two instruments for beginners. If you don't want to put more stress on the zonules using a phaco probe, you can just come out, there's no harm. You can use two Sinskis or one chopper and rotate the nucleus. Then going on to the phaco 2 mode, bury into the core of the nucleus, slightly lift it up, and then initiate the crack so that the stress is less. Since it's a leathery crack, you can do a multiple layer crack. So making sure the epinucleus cracks before you pull it, because in a hurry if you try to pull it, so these are sticky cataracts also in colobomatous cases. So sometimes it can just come along with the bag. So once you have one piece outside, I think it makes it relatively simpler to rotate and remove the other pieces. And here you have these fibers left. So what I use is something called as a saline hydrogel. So another method of cortical cleanup or like polishing. So just inject fluid along the PC, so you can even clear off those cortical remnants, because we want good post-operative results. So after implanting the lens, in this case, because of the larger defects, I think we can go ahead and do the single pass 4-throw pupilloplasty which was invented by Dr. Amar Agarwal. I think it's an amazing innovation of iris repair techniques, because I initially found that the other iris repair techniques little but and cumbersome to do, but this was a very, very easy thing to learn. Just have to pass a 10-0 pro suture through the iris. You can see just holding it through the forceps, getting an initial bite, and then through the other side, you're passing a 27 gauge needle. So this has to be done in the site where you want the defect to close. So whether you want to go anterior or posterior, we'll have to make the choice. Now just railroad the needle inside the 27 gauge needle and then bring it out, and then form a loop from the posterior edge. And once that loop is formed, just bring it out, and then you pass 4 throws inside. And then when you tighten, you can see how the iris defect is closed. Because initially we were not doing this. There are some patients who complain of extra glare, and especially the edge effect of these lenses. But I think now we have a solution for that, and then we can do this, and the patients are happier post-operatively. So this was the pre-operative picture of the same patient. You can see the brown cataract, and you can see post-operative day 1 how it was, and eventually the patient was very happy with his vision. This was 1 week post-op picture with a few DM folds, because it was a slightly denser cataract, and this was 1 month post-operative picture, well-centered IOL, good overlap of the anterior capsular margin. The third scenario is something that we have a larger coloboma. You have already vitreous that is trying to come out. So I think this was published by Ashwin. I think his talk also has this. So it's called the vitrectomy assisted phacoemulsification. So when because of the fluid hydration, that some amount of vitreous comes out. So what they suggest is you can put a trocar and do some amount of anterior vitrectomy. So this not only clears the vitreous that is going to come through the defect, but also helps in deepening of the anterior chamber. So there is more space to work in these colostomatous eyes. So you can see the cutter there through the complete defect, because sometimes during the procedure, we see the vitreous coming and getting caught to the phacoprobe. So once you do that clearing, then doing phacoemulsification becomes simpler. This was a larger defect. So this was actually a video borrowed from Ashwin. So they've used both the iris and the coloboma hooks. So thank you. So once again, I'd like to thank the entire team. And as they said, we've been doing this course for 3-4 years successfully, and hope to continue the journey. Thank you.